Simplicity Sunstar is another episode. I'll show you in a second. We got a full playlist on this. This is the big SnowThrower for the front, single stage. Big Mike's got the even bigger one, and I've showed a little. I don't know where that is, where the picture of that is. It's somewhere. Might be in the folder somewhere, but this is truly just an amazing piece of machinery for its time. But it's getting old, it's getting tired, and even though this is really the single stage, I really needed this. It's a fail. I tested it once before, and I'll show you here. Here's a playlist of all of this Sunstar stuff. Almost everything is on it, and at some point, I did a number of snow-related things to it, including getting the plow on and going over Big Mike's. This one here is Get You Some of This. Pretty cool. That's when I first tested it. And let's see, Get You Some of This 2 years ago, where I had it running good. You know, this is it here too, another huge shaft. This one's pretty cool. This is what I'm working on. The harness you'll see it later, the function for the chute control. And going over the plow and some of the other things. So this is pretty cool. So I'm going to look at that. I'm just giving it a quick test. Now you can see the smoke coming out. We're going to get to that later. So that was the first test of it. What was that? 3 years ago. That's a long time. Let me come back. So 3 years ago, and now one of the big storms is coming. Remember, we had that nationwide 2,000-mile stretch of storms. So basically the day before, I wanted to go get it and put it on and get it prepped out, thinking I already went over it once, but 3 years of it sitting outside. This is what happens with stuff like this. When you're dealing with old tractors, any old machine, I love to work on 20-year-old machines. A lot of you guys know that. For those of you that don't know, I resurrect a lot of these beautiful 20-year-old machines. I don't really do like quick service, quick carby cleans, and that's not my gig. My gig, for those that know, is more about restoration, somewhat of a restoration. I don't take every nut and bolt apart. Maybe over time I do on stuff like the Sunstar, but not all right away. And then, customers and other projects and responsibilities in life. When you're a mechanic, they say the shoemaker's kids never have any shoes, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys know you don't ever get a chance to really work on your own project. Well, now I'm kind of screwed. I really could have used it. There was a lot of snow. We'll take a look at that in a bit in the video. And that was the first one. But I have to tell you guys, across the country, I didn't know it at the time, but I'm like, yeah, I really would like to get this thing running. It's a fail. We're going to go over the installation again. And this is the lifestyle that you have to have. You have to be ready to do this kind of stuff. Because when you're taking old machines, you're going to run into some problems. And I've been very fortunate with this Sunstar. It was the first machine that I ever had, probably the only one that I'll ever have, that I can actually fix it a little bit and start using it. And then continue to fix things as I go. That's usually not the case. Almost every machine I ever get is a total basket case, and even just to see if it will work, if it's either a parts machine or maybe it's a functional machine that I get to keep or I can sell, you have to go through all these procedures and service and repairs, and but still is the case even with big equipment like this. And you're going to see more as to what's involved in installing it. It's not that hard for those of you that maybe have one or would like to check out this video. It's not that hard to go through. Like I said, I went through it once already. It seemed like it was working. And I'll get into later on, like on the outro, as to why I really decided to not use it. And I think I made the right decision. Let's get started on putting this thing on and going through the routines and checking it out. You'll see what's involved. Stay tuned. Oh, it's close, fellas. I just got to get that lined up a little bit more. We're going to turn it. I got to let this down. That thing's in the way. I'm going to slap a little bit more of this rail oil Big Mike gave me on some of those mating surfaces. The lift rod so we can lift it. Lift rod engaged.
Engage.
Well, she's in okay shape. I'm going to blow it off with some compressed air and we'll bring it in. There's a little bend there. We'll lube it up later, but we'll get it blow it off. Unfortunately, it's going to stick a lot of snow and ice because it's rusty, but we'll get it set up. Now, I'm missing a belt on here because the motor is leaning. That is the thing that we still need to fix. So I'm going to need to take off the hood when we get it in, and we'll spin it up and we'll get it lubricated. But yeah, it is what it is. Let me figure out what I want to do with this. And this, I want this inside. I don't want it buried in snow because if it's just ice and it's not a lot of snow and it's slush, we'll have to put this stuff back. But they're saying we could have a foot of snow, so let's see what happens. Now that the hood's off and we have it in, we can take a closer look. So you can actually see here that the belt, it's supposed to be in the back, but it flipped to the front. So that's one of the first problems. By putting a second belt on, it might throw the second belt. It might. Either way, we're going to put the two belts on. And the other thing too is these brackets here, I didn't install these. It's easier to do all of this, as you can see, with the hood off, because then you can really see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it up, I'm going to move it forward, and then I'm going to put a block underneath and kind of set it up here, and then I'm going to, when I get a chance, I'll pull backwards when I disconnect the rest of it. And I want to see about folding these over and lining them up. I think they do line up, but they have to come down, and there's no way that will happen right now. There's not enough room for it to move down because it's going to hit. It's there. So I want to document that for sure. So let me get started on that. I'll be back in a bit. I'll let you know. Yeah, that's much better. I just pulled it straight back, and you see how these fall. Now there's a piece down there that's hanging that's been in the way. I think Zippo said he had something similar, and when he tried to take all this apart, it was a nightmare. So we're going to flip it up on its face, and I'm going to address that. Probably plasma cutter, just rip it right off. Yeah, the belt that was on there was shot. So I have, that's nice, I got this little ratchet strap on there, pull everything out of the way. So I got these two belts from the parts tractor, and let's see, this one's decent, this one's old. Let's see if we can put the better one on first, towards the back. Because I remember that it was easier to do if you kind of put it on the front and then you walked it to the rear. And why is this not moving? Ooh, that should move. What's going on there? That should spin. From what I remember. Yeah, what is it, locked? Yeah, this is a little tight. That is a little bit tight. It could just be rust. Let me spin that around a little bit more, loosen it up. I think that's what's wrong, is it's just rusty, it hasn't been used. All right, we got the one on. There is no socket for that I have. And I don't want to keep beating up these splines, but I do need a little help turning it. I just need a little help. Yeah, that's it. So it's easier if I put the top on. This one's going to be a little bit looser. And we may want to find something a little bit tighter. It's sitting in the pulley different too. So it might have been a different belt. Let me see if I have another 1722, I think is what it is. And now that I dug them out, let's spend some time looking. Let me solve that. So now, like I said, because the motor is leaning, it's causing problems. Same thing with Mike's, although mine I think is worse, but it's happening to him too. This is the same size belt, but look, that will never do anything. It'll never stay on. It's the same size belt as the one in the rear. And see how that fits? So now these are 1/2-inch belts. This is like a 3/8. They might be a little bit bigger, but I think this is a 3/8. This is a little smaller, so it doesn't fit quite as good. I just kind of cleaned it off. I just put it in my solution and cleaned it off. But look, much better. See? So I roll through my solution, and then when we're running, I'm going to put belt dressing on it. So I think that will work. I mean, that's what I have, and the belt's okay, and I think I have another one just in case. And it will provide some traction, you know, because we're spinning a very big thing, and it's going to be if there's much snow as they say, yeah, it's going to be a real bitch. So let's loosen this up. There we go. I like this, isn't it nice? Oh yeah. Yeah, she's almost there. So much easier. Almost. Yeah, that's it. Come here, you. Well, that's a keeper. All right, let me put away some more of my stuff. We'll check it later. But they'll both wear in. There's a little bit more tension on this guy, I can see. But that's okay. I think that's pretty good. So let me clean up a little bit. I'm going to work on this next. I want to set up for tomorrow. I don't want to cut tonight. It's getting too late. I have a lot of other things I can do to kind of get this kind of done. And yeah, we'll do the heavy lifting tomorrow. We'll pick it up and do all of that later.
The next day.
So I know the motor's leaning too far forward. I did manage to get one shim in last time I was noodling around with it. The bolts were loose though, one of them in particular. I could have gone with a thinner shim, but let me show you. I managed to get 2 more of these in. Let me show you. So I took one of the belts, the forward belt off, pulled the tension off, loosened up the motor mounts. I was able to get to them by taking the side panels off. And I drove in 1 more shim on the front and each side. So now the plan is, we'll get it tight again, make it nice and tight. And I think there was a shim used underneath I used because you can't get a washer in there. So I want to make sure we have bearing underneath. And they're sitting good. The other one's sitting on a bit of weld, so it's cocked up a little higher. And we're definitely in a better position here with the belt, much better. So let's get this back together, and then I want to lube up a few things while I'm underneath here, see what I can get to. And then I can get the other belt on, and I can put the panels on, we can call it. And then this is the piece here. So I don't want to, it's thick. And these are going to flop over that way. I'm not sure which hole, but I think it's this hole. So at some point I'm going to want to come back, mark that off and cut it. That's for another day. We'll clean all this up later. Let me finish up that. I think this is going to be better. And the fact that a couple of the bolts in the front, one on this side here and the starter side was definitely loose. So my new impact that my daughter's fiance and my daughter got me, it managed to loosen it up. It did pretty good for a small little Craftsman unit. All right, I'm happy. I'm going to keep working. I think this is a better solution for now. All right, I'm a little happier. I got to keep moving though. So belt's back on. Everything is basically back in. This one, I'll climb underneath. I'll see if we can get you some shots. But that bolt is almost bottom out against the starter motor. I can't go any tighter, and it's starting to suck into the hole where the rubber bushing is supposed to be. I don't know if it's even in there or what's left of it. So the washers from underneath are bowing and beveling upwards, and then at some point you can't even tighten it, even if you could get a wrench on there. Best I can do is shove a screwdriver, a thick screwdriver, something in to try to wedge that nut. But it's tight. I checked it. We'll climb underneath in a minute. So it's Mike and I last night, Big Mike and I were talking a little bit about it, just chatting on text. Kind of had the same idea at the same time. I think it's worth, taking a look at it for sure and see if we can just wedge something in there. It's pretty high up in the back, and I'm not sure if it's sitting on the factory bushings or not. We really can't see. It is dirty underneath there. I don't think it's worth investigating anymore, but it's now about the same level. I think it's really more accurate to say the front might be a little bit lower. We still kind of have this situation here. This is a little bit of a different belt. I think we'll be okay. It's as good as I can get it. I will lube it and everything. In a minute, I'll get the side panels back on, and then, like I said, we can move forward. This is as good as it's going to get, and when I get Mike's tractor sorted with the engine installed and everything swapped out with some bushings, I'll have a better understanding, and we'll know, what to do to this when that time comes. Let's climb underneath. If you can see it, but you can see how it's beveling and bowing because there's nothing underneath it to support it. It's just a hole, and there's supposed to be rubber there. But the others look good, and now we've confirmed everything is tight. And the other thing I wanted to do, look, this one's missing that cover. That's not good. Why is that cover gone? So we might be able to get in there and lubricate that, but I'm not too worried about any of that right now, all right? It's not my concern. We have other things to do. I'm going to try 40 amps, but it's kind of thick. We might have to go all the way up. We'll try the old helmet first. Close. Check the flame. I don't want to get too close to this spring eye. Yeah, I got away from the spring. Let it cool, I'll clean it up. Yeah, it cut pretty good. It's a nice cut, actually. I just don't know what I'm doing yet, but you can see it. I just eat past that spring. We're okay. And it's the eye. Nothing's problem there. I'll clean it up a little bit just so there's no burrs. If you grab it with your hand, I'm not worried about it. It'll act as a spacer in the meantime because you need a spacer there. And I think it looks pretty good. And it did good. What I noticed is the problem is that when you get the arc started, you have to work the arc. You got to keep it going. And sometimes it will not start on the rough surface in the hole. You have to go next to an edge again, and it'll light off and go. But yeah, it did good, this little guy. It's cutting really at the end of its capability at 50 amps. I left it 6 seconds to purge the tip, a little bit of air coming through, and we're a little over 90. That's a little too much, but we can bring it down a little bit. But we were really on the edge there. when you hit the trigger, it comes down. You may not see it. There's a lot of glare in here right now. All right, let me clean up. I just used the vice grip to help hold it, but yeah, it's clean enough. We don't need anything else. There's a little piece of crap right in there, but we don't care. I'm not going to spend too much time with it. It'll probably fall off because it's mostly slag, but that's deburred. It's acting as a spacer. Let me clean up in here, get all the schmutz off the floor, and let's set it up because we still have a lot to do, but it should go a little quicker. And I'll throw a little bit of lube in a few spots while I'm here. It had been lubed, but we'll add a little bit more while we're here. Yeah, that's cleaned up nice. All right, a little bit of lube, let's put it down, and at some point, we're probably gonna wanna cut these guys, but not right now. All right, let's get it hooked up. All right, it's pinned in. The only thing I didn't connect, obviously, is the drive shaft, and this. It's close. It's almost identical. I should be able to get that in since I pinned everything. And kind of want to put it this way, I think. Let's see, will it go in? It's very close. Oh yeah, it went right in. Yeah, that's good. All right, now I'm just going to put a little bit of my whey oil in here. Well, it's rail oil. I'm just going to put a little bit. And I cleaned it up, washed it off with a little bit of solvent. It was outside in the freezing cold, still on the mower body, on the mower pan. Now, everything is lubricated in here. I put some lube in the joint, the U-joint. And let's see, there it goes. Now, we should be able to just pull it back, pull it over. Let me get it situated. So we're gonna line it up, pull it back. Yeah, it's close. That's it. That's it. Locked in. Collar went back. All right, let's give it a quick test. Let me get it started. Spin it up, lift it up a little bit, just quick. And if all that works good, then I can put the lid on and connect the wires and all the other stuff for it, because the rotator needs to go. Let me shut it off, let it air out in here, and I want to get the lid on.
1 hour later.
All right, one casualty. So this is the chute height adjuster, you know, the height of the SnowThrower, the flapper on the top. This broke, the cable broke. This was getting jammed. It happened last time, and this has been sitting outside for a couple of years. Let me go show you, and we're just going to have to fix it the conventional way. Stand by. All right, so I'm almost done. The cable snapped right over here. This cable I have in stainless steel. I may be able to fix this, but not tonight. I'm exhausted. So I'm going to remove the cable, right? Get rid of all of this, take all this off, get it out of the way. I just need the electrical part. And it was going up here, and what you would do, it's like a collet. So what you would do is you would twist it to lock it, and then twist it the other way to unlock it, and the twisting back and forth is really what sheared the cable. And then you push in or pull out, and that adjusts your flapper. Really nice from the cab. Well, we're gonna go old school, right? I grabbed that from the parts snowblower that Mike gave me. just because it was there. So we'll put that over here in a few minutes, and I got to plug everything in, and we'll give it a quick test. Maybe we'll spray it with some, I don't know, we could use a little WD, a silicone or something. We'll shoot some grease into those spots in there, right? I greased a few of the other things. It's dirty, it's filthy, it will work. I'll have to carefully, well, when I get out, I'll have to stop the blade. And then we can make some adjustments here for height, and that's the way it's gonna have to be for now.
Eventually.
Something happened. Now what happened? What are we hitting? We hitting the front? God, now what? All kinds of tins in the way. All right, total waste. Okay, it's loading up the belts, it's frying the belts, they're cooking, it's putting such a load on the motor. I think some of this is just, it's just been sitting too long. And I'm running out of steam. We gotta get it off. I gotta put the plow on. I gotta let it air out. It's cooking the belts. What a mess. I gotta pull the hood back off. I gotta pull all this whole thing off, go figure out a place to dump it for now, and just get it out of here and get this thing back in. It's going to be a late night, but it is what it is. This is not going to work. I really don't even need it. I have a big snow blower. I tried. I think it's just too far gone. Maybe I can put it up for sale. I'm not looking to fix it anytime soon. I tried. I had it on once before. It's shot. All right, I got to stop for a little while. Say hey to everybody. Here's the crew. I have the crew out. Look at this. So this one's a fail, temporarily. I'll get into it later, but the chute is too small. The throat of the chute area is too small. So it's freezing up, and it's lock solid right now. So out comes the one that doesn't have that problem. Look at the size of that auger. Look at the size of that hole in there. So that's the problem with the other one.
I know what's wrong with it.
I know what's wrong with it.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas. You're gonna put the all in the gas.
I can't
I know
pretend
what's
that she's
wrong
not
with
your
it.
child.
Yeah, she's not. She's my
Ain't got
child.
no gas.
Yeah, all right, we'll be back. All right, so I got through that first storm, and I wound up having to use the green snowblower, the big green snowblower, which worked pretty good. But the belt started stretching. It wore. This one wore, and it was because the pulleys were rusting. And I think the issue too, and that's another video, but the issue too with this machine could have been why I'm eating. I was eating belts. In fact, I don't know what I did with that little pick. It must be somewhere. It's a little short, but after I moved the tractor around, you could see all the black belt material right underneath where I was doing the testing. And so the green snowblower ate a belt. I knew I needed the 826. That's on another video as well. We had to go rescue the 826 out of a block of ice. All right. So I got inundated, and between all of these machines and the plow, I'm still not done, and it just snowed this morning because we had this snow cyclone, bomb cyclone. My brain's frazzled, I'm shot. I got a lot of snow stuck in the driveway still. And that's why I say I could have really used this thing. These machines, 20 horsepower Magnum, Kohler Magnum can handle it when it's new, when the machine is new, when the rotating assembly is all nice and perfect and new or really well maintained, or at a state where everything is good. That's a lot of load. My motor's already got a bad cylinder. It's already see it's blowing smoke. It started blowing a lot more smoke. I don't know what's going on with the pulleys, why the belt. I tried to level the motor. I got a bum engine mount. At some point you got to call it. And I use this machine constantly. I put the forks on the front. I move machines around. I got this big track snowblower back again that I can't move. I'm going to have to swap out the plow and put the forks on to get it around back and get it in. Or I don't know. I got to see what's going on with it. It came back. He broke something with it. That one won't move. I'm thinking, you know what? If I burn my motor up, we're done. As it stands right now, when I get Mike's project done, I get, his newer motor in, get him out of here. We have that broken motor. We could tear that broken motor down, see what broke, how bad it is. And then maybe I can put together a plan of action. I can pull my motor out, fix the issues with the motor mount, or maybe I'll take the chassis from the other chassis, which you haven't seen that yet, the parts tractor. I got a lot of options. If I keep my options open, maybe we can tear my motor down. Everything with a flathead, like a twin flathead, everything is in the block. So if you kill the block, if you really damage the block, you're either talking about a lot of machine work, and you got to go find a machinist that can do that kind of work, maybe sleeve it, I don't know. Or if you don't really ruin everything, you can take both motors apart, look at what you got, and maybe you can get a re-ring and a re-bearing kit or whatever, seals and gaskets and whatever, and you can put something back together that can handle a properly set up SnowThrower. I want to make my machine better. I don't want to make it worse by breaking it. Absolutely need it. Maybe I can put together one motor from two. I don't have to go driving all traipsing all over the planet to find another motor like Mike had to do. He had to go way deep in New Jersey to get that parts tractor. Those are my options as it stands right now. And then when that's all done, maybe I can come back to the SnowThrower. Mike and I were talking about, can I sell it? $150, whatever. What's $150 in the scheme of things, right? I think these things really only fit that series of Sunstar tractors. I mean, for God's sakes, I haven't even pulled the carburetor apart yet. I went to go do it, and somebody epoxied the bowl on. We have other carbs and stuff now, but it's hard to take apart something that you need. So the plow is on it. The plow is part of what I need to finish cleaning up this property, because these snow throwers can go through virgin snow, even though they're over the can. It's over 2 feet. We got like 2 feet of snow here. But once you pick up the snow and throw it, if you need to pick it up again in the wrong temperature, it starts to rock up. It starts to load up. You can't pick it up. The snow blower can't get into it. Now the plow's got to come out. And like I said, I'm not done digging out, because I got to get the property cleared, because I'm moving vehicles around. And, Big Dave came by and he wanted to back in even further. Unfortunately, he brought reinforcements with him, because they had to pick it up. They couldn't get all the way in. They had to drag it all the way. And Rome wasn't built in a day, and I can't fix everything overnight. I got to get back to work. All right. So it's got to sit for now. And it's going to sit. It's already been 3 years. Was it going to be like another 3 before I get to it? Yeah, probably. A lot of you guys know what that's like when you're working on your own stuff and you're doing the same damn thing for a living, or you're just busy with your day job and your life. Welcome to Archer's Garage. Thanks for checking out this video. I'll see you guys on the next one.